standing in front of the 6'8" video game stallion in real life, in person, they wouldn't say shit.
Nerd Vengers, Broke Vengers Business and Towers, everybody. We'll get started in just a little bit. Smash that like button. Don't get too mad. We're going to explain the title. Don't worry. But it's true. DC got a dub. We got to talk about it. Wait, Chet, are we going to get sued for playing that? We probably can't play that. That song is dope if you've never heard it, ladies and gentle beings. Oh, you just played that. Feel the power. It's in you. Destroyed, decimated, crushed, demolished. I could go on. Oh yeah, let's go. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning stream here on the Den of Nerds Live. Pretty chill-ass way to start your nerdy day. We thought, what a great way to kick off your Monday than to rile up the DC vs. Marvel hate. The rivalry. I mean, look, I'm just going to be honest, okay? This is the first time in maybe years that you could legitimately say that DC did something, put something head-to-head with Marvel Studios, and legitimately beat them at their own game. What is Marvel's game? Hype, numbers, buzz, domination, crushing. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier trended for a little bit on Friday. There were multiple hashtags for the Snyder Cut trending this morning. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. It's very interesting. So, legitimately, I know some of your Marvel fans are in, and look, I love my Marvel fans. Of course. And I understand the Marvel fans. I am one. But shut your mouth. So I'm about to tell you exactly why the Snyder Cut dominated Falcon and the Winter Soldier in multiple different ways, and why, really, legitimately, Warner Brothers should take note of this, because this is a rare thing, and they have potentially lightning in a bottle with this Zack Snyder stuff, and they should think about the outcome of this week. They should think about what's going on social media right now, the fan discussions that are being had, etc., etc. You know, Leslie Jones live tweeting with commentary the Snyder Cut, we're gonna go into the theater and watch some of it because it's hilarious and it's so smart. And it's you know what it ultimately is? It's earned media. We talk about this a lot. Earned media. So we're going to get into all that. Why and how did Zack Snyder's Justice League completely dominate Falcon and the Winter Soldier? We're going to talk about it. But before we get into all of that, let's do a little bit of show notes. Ladies and gentlemen, show notes. It is a weird week, and it's going to be a weird couple of weeks. I apologize to everybody. I'm in the process of moving. This weekend, I will be moving. But we should be doing a watch party for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And let me just say, too, I did thoroughly enjoy the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so I'm not here to shit on Falcon and the Winter Soldier at all. I really liked the episode. And we will be doing content. Actually, there is a video already with Elisa currently being worked on about John Walker, the U.S. agent, the new Captain America, the whole deal with that character. It's going to be a very interesting video. We will be doing our regularly scheduled watch party this Thursday morning, Friday morning, 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I want to emphasize that we will be doing that because we missed that last week. Technical difficulties. I was also completely burnt out and exhausted from streaming the entire Snyder Cut the night before. We were nerd-venging real hard last week. On that note, for channel members, there will be no streams this weekend. I apologize. There's just no streams this weekend. This is the weekend I move in. I need to try to get completely moved in this weekend so that I can have studio set up and internet running by Monday, and we shall see if that's a thing or not, but I at least need to give it a good try, and so no streams this weekend. I apologize. Other than that, regularly scheduled week. You got Debate 8 tomorrow night. You have Darren's Danger Room Wednesday night. You have After Dark Thursday night. It should be a really good week for the nerds. And yeah, Nerd Theory tonight. Nerd Theory tonight. Gonna be a good time. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit, and I want to sort of just, pontificate and talk about why I think, for sure, the Snyder Cut absolutely dominated Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and get into some of this stuff and talk about the different reactions and how people are responding to this content, right? So let's do an experiment. I just want to know. Put a 2 into the chat if you have watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier multiple times. I want to know. Put a 2 into the chat if you have watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier multiple times. Interesting. That's a lot of 2s. How many of you have watched the Snyder Cut multiple times? Put a 1 into the chat if you have watched the Snyder Cut multiple times. Man, this is really scientific here. I think we're going to be able to extrapolate a lot of information. All right, looks like we're going to have to do a poll. Let's just, okay, you know what? To be fair to this entire process, let's get a poll going. And I want to know where everybody is at when it comes to Falcon and Winter Soldier versus Snyder Cut. Now, let me just be clear about something. It's way too early to actually judge them both on the merits of, like, the artistic vision, right? We have 1/6 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I'm not saying to you that Falcon and the Winter Soldier, based off of 1/6 of it, is automatically worse than the Snyder Cut. That is not what I'm saying. But what I am saying, and I think everybody needs to be realistic about, is we need to admit that Marvel is so cocky, they're such a swinging dick, that they thought one episode of their new show would dwarf the Snyder Cut. 100%. Snyder Cut moved into that slot. They didn't give a fuck. That's the point. The point is, we used to live in a world where Marvel was not gun shy about anything. They could put any property out at any time and dominate. And a movie that was 2 years old that was remade dominated this week. From a social media perspective, from a discussions perspective, from a fan impact perspective, from many different perspectives. And the data is still rolling in. But believe me, AT&T, Jason Kilar, HBO, they're going to start dropping some ridiculous numbers on you. In the next 3 to 5 days, you will hear some absurd numbers. Okay? So, let's just make that clear. We are not talking about who won the week. That's what we're talking about. Who won the week? DC with Snyder Cut. Marvel with Falcon Winter Soldier. The poll has been created. Damn, you guys are a little active in chat. That's cool. Here's the link. Everybody shut up so that we can see the link. Shut your mouth. There it is. Couple times for you. We're going to go into the theater. I'm going to show everybody. Let us see. I want to see. And by the way, you're wrong, all of you, unless you agree with me. But I mean, we'll still see what you gotta say. You know, we'll still, you know, we'll take the numbers down. The poll doesn't even work. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The poll doesn't even work. Star Wars won? The poll broke? It didn't count your vote? Well, if you're trying to vote multiple times, it's going to not let you do that. So, pretty sure it works. Okay. Boom. DC, clearly. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. Pretty accurate, I would say. So we're looking at like 70% of the votes say that DC with the Snyder Cut won. And about 30% say that Marvel won with the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I would say that most people, even if you're just being reasonable, like there was almost like, okay, we didn't know what to expect with the Snyder Cut. Like, being fair, that could have been a 4-hour thing that people checked out of in the first hour. Here's the thing. I think legitimately I'm feeling a certain type of way, even towards my own Marvel fan brethren and sisterin, because you got to put some respect on Zack Snyder's name. A week ago, so many people thought that this was going to be a 4-hour train wreck that was just a continuation or a sloppier version of what we saw a couple of years ago, okay? Legitimately. And I think it's crazy to think and consider that a film 4 hours long has been viewed as many times as it has been viewed, and this many people, from what I can see from the social media impact of the Snyder Cut, it's crazy, dude. I mean, Leslie literally had the hashtag long ass movie for her whole like Twitter thing, and it's funny because it is a super long ass movie, but there's something about it. It feels like a fucking adventure. It feels like an adventure. I don't know how to explain. You never fully know how audiences are going to respond to these things. But from my vantage point, and I spent some time researching and trying to look around, man, the Snyder Cut has got a lot of buzz. A lot of people watched it. A lot of people talked about it. The true test, I think, for the Snyder Cut is going to be, how does it perform this week and next week? Does it sustain buzz? Is there going to be people checking it out this week that are sort of late adopters? Okay? The MCU had this effect, by the way. The MCU, if you really look at the trajectory of the MCU, we love to talk about the 10 years. We love to talk about that. But really, it wasn't until the last 3 to 4 years that they reached that place where grandmas started going to the movies, where, normies started swarming in. By the time Infinity War and Endgame rolled around, it felt like a cultural phenomenon. Everybody knew who Thanos was, that all the heroes were, half the heroes were dead after Infinity War. You know what I mean? Like, it was like ubiquitous. You know what I mean? This is probably literally the closest that DC has ever been to that level of hype. I personally think. I don't think anything they've ever done, including the Joker movie. And the Joker movie was big for them, bigger than I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? I was on record saying, like, Joker movie's not all that. You know what I mean? It's all right. And it was a cultural phenomenon. You know what I mean? In ways that I didn't fully understand. But I think the same thing is happening with the Snyder Cut right now. Now, the ultimate, like, the worst thing that could happen from here, like if DC, here's what I'm saying. I don't know if DC's gonna, even with everything I've just said and as the numbers come out, I still don't think that they'll give him the keys to the kingdom. Meaning, they will not just let him do whatever he wants. If you read, and by the way, I'm working on an in-depth video about this too, where I was like looking into this. Apparently, Warner Brothers didn't even want him to have Darkseid in the film, and he still did that. Apparently, Warner Brothers didn't want him to shoot anything new, and he did that. Like, even to make this happen, there was still a bad blood sort of leveraging negotiation thing that happened between Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder. Meaning, they don't like him, bro. They don't like him. They don't like him. They don't like the fans. They don't like the leverage that the fan base gives him. They don't like the fact that Jason Kilar likes it. And they don't like any of that. And this I think is really like... this is kind of where I'm at with it, is that I do not believe that Zack's stuff will be able to continue to move forward and dominate the same way that the Snyder Cut did unless they give him the reins. Like, if they just give him like a little Batman versus Deathstroke thing, it'll be dope. People will love it. It'll pop off. But the Snyder Cut flies on the wings of its ambition. It is so absurdly ambitious that it's tapping into desires that DC fans have had for a long time that have been completely unsatisfied, like to a gross degree. Like, frankly, folks, like a lot of you didn't understand like why I sort of took a negative stance on the Batman. And it's because I'm literally sick of reading the origin of Batman over and over again on the silver screen. I'm sick of it. I want to see the character evolve. Part of the fun with Batman is not the year one. Like, year one's great, and like that stuff's great. But there's this whole 75-year history of different stories and different writers taking Batman and the Justice League and, otherworldly entities and crazy things and taking shit to the next level. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Like, for me, Warner Brothers needs to legitimately look at these numbers, think about what's going on, and I think they need to fucking pivot, dude. And I think they need to pivot big time. I am incredibly skeptical that they will. I do not believe that they will. But I believe that they should. And I believe if they did, and they went hard, they could leapfrog into a place that's pretty close to where Marvel is. I'm not saying that they could beat Marvel at their own game. I don't know if they could have ever done that. Marvel makes incredible movies with a lot of heart. I think their shows are great. I think WandaVision did flounder a little bit, and it has set the fan base up for weird feelings when it comes to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think Marvel is maybe a wounded bird in some ways right now. You know what I mean? They're so big, and they're relying so heavily on their own continuity that, like, think about it. Everything's delayed because everything's connected. You know what I mean? So, like, Marvel's success in some ways is creating problems for them. And DC has the opportunity to just boom and just be there. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at with it. And so I wanted to just kind of see what you guys were thinking about that. I'll go into Super Chats right now. Here's what I think I want to do. I know a lot of the Super Chats are probably like angry, like addressing this shit we just talked about. So let's do some Super Chat shit. And then let's go into the theater. I want to watch a few of Leslie's tweets because they're hilarious. Like the last one is so funny. Yeah. So I want to watch some of those. There's some stuff on Reddit I want to go over. Oscar Isaac doing Moon Knight fighting, etc., etc. Some nerdy shit. So let's do a little Q&A. You know what I mean? Let's address the class. See how everybody's doing. I'm sure everybody's really calm. I'm sure there's no DC versus Marvel outrage. I'm sure there'll be nothing but respectful discourse, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Joseph Bush, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You are a Nerd Venger now at the Prime level. I would say watch the last 2 Sunday streams, bro. You'll get a good feel for what we do on Sundays in the Prime level. But also a lot of cool stuff on the way. Whiskey Steve says, exclamation point, nerd coin, while I earn more nerd coin. Dude, that is pretty, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone. Did it work, though? I'm interested in if it actually triggered the cloud bot or not through the chat. Dooley76 says, good morning, everyone. Sending this along now while I'm working. Take my money. Let's go. Dooley, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate the love, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Kind of sounds like you're probably tabbed out and can't participate in chat, but we appreciate the love. Damn, I can't speak today. Big Stevie says, JL is out trending and dominated the news cycle. Can't ignore that. Warner Brothers accidentally discovered their blueprint for keeping up with Marvel. So, yeah, man, look, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I think legitimately, if they were to waste this opportunity, why not at least try? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm telling you right now, it will be a huge mistake if they don't. It will be a massive mistake if they don't, in my opinion. Thank you, Steve. Angelo says, I loved both last week for different reasons, but Zack's Justice League is an epic / masterpiece. So many big and little moments that hit so hard. Mad at Warner Brothers for sure. Yeah, Angelo, I'm with you, man. Look, I like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think I like Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 1 more than a lot of people. I really like that episode. I'm excited to talk about it. Darren, I was texting with Darren a little bit. She liked the episode a lot. So I'm excited to talk about that specifically with her on Wednesday. Also, slight tease here for something Darren and I are going to argue about on Wednesday. Apparently, it's rumored that Jane Foster Thor is going to whoop Odinson in the movie. She's going to beat him in a fight. I'm obviously furious about this. Darren probably loves it. So I think Darren and I should fight about it. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, Angelo, as far as your point, 4 hours of really clean epicness that is shockingly better than the bullshit that you've had before. The whole narrative surrounding it. I mean, you honestly, like, it was set up for failure. Like, Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 1 was set up for failure. And the thing is, I think what I'm really trying to say here is that I don't believe Marvel blinked. I don't think they didn't see this coming, I think. Yeah. Steve says DC dominating is not about quality. They dominated about buzz. The most things about... Yeah. For sure, man. For sure. Absolutely. Lord Vito says, I wish I could personally hug Zack Snyder for making the movie. The movie actually made me feel emotions again. Vito, you're crazy, bro. But I'm glad that you like the film a lot, bro. I really, really like it as well. Tom says, I want DC to succeed as much as Marvel. I love both, but I've not cared about DC since Bale Batman. Oh, that's fair. DC's been a hot mess, brother, you know? So, can't really blame you there at all. 34 Virgo says, hey, Josh, just wanted to say that was a cool, dope-ass conversation the other day with Al and Lavis. Lots of thoughtful, intersecting points. Good work, dog. Thank you, brother. Yeah, we, look, man, Al and I specifically have a lot of awesome conversations behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Al's been with me for a long time. We've been through a lot together. We're good friends. We're really good friends. We always talk about, like, how real do we want to get in the content? You know what I mean? It's always a question. It's like, how real do you want to get in the content? These days, people can get really triggered. I mean, let's just call it what it is. They get really triggered for so many different reasons. And people are just trying to think out loud. And then they get held accountable for, like, thinking out loud. And when you're live, it's always dangerous. So we have a lot of conversations about that kind of stuff in particular. But, you know, I'll tell you, a cool buffer for that is just not being, like, an asshole or a bad person. Like, legitimately, I think as long as you don't, like, as long as you're just like a fucking horrible person, like, you should just be real and speak your mind, and then be willing to be wrong and be willing to be educated. You know what I mean? That's kind of my thing. Patrick Ray says, was the flying hot dog DC's answer to the Marvel boner joke? Flying wiener coming at ya. I know, right? It's so weird. I'm sorry. I think that scene is weird, dude. And I did not love Ezra Miller in that movie. In fact, could the Flash movie replace him? That would be great for me. Sorry. I know we have some fans. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Abby is going to kill me for saying that. Yeah, the hot dog thing was weird, man. I wasn't a big fan of that. Just the whole way it was shot, everything. Not a big fan. Proxy says, give Zack Snyder a 4-hour Star Wars movie. Bro, I'm really hoping. Okay, let's just get on the same page about something. By the way, I'm doing a very detailed video about this, which will either drop later today or tomorrow. But I'm going to go into this. I think we will have a Zack Snyder sans, regardless. If his Netflix John is, if people like that, man, we're off to the races. Like, he's going to have a lot of love behind him. He's going to be able to do a lot. So a Snyder sans would be great. And the question then would be, would he do stuff with DC? Does he want that? Do they want that? Do the fans want that? Do the actors want that? There's a lot of sort of intangibles. But regardless, I think Zack should do something. And I think his superhero stuff has certainly struck a chord with people. And by the way, he was one of the first artist directors to fully embrace the comic book genre. There was a time, man, where they were not all about that. I mean, even to this day, De Niro's like, oh, fuck those circus clown movies. Fucking grown men, babies. By the way, that is his actual quote. That's De Niro's actual quote. And I'm kidding because I could get sued to say that. Sorry. That's a joke. Snyder was one of the first ones to fully embrace that idea from an artistic perspective. You know what I mean? So I think it's great, and I'm hoping he gets some really... Look, I'd love to see him do Dark Avengers. Just straight up, dude. Dark Avengers, Norman Osborn, like... Please. But his Star Wars could be cool, too. I don't know if he's such a good fit for Star Wars, honestly. He's pretty gritty, dark, and a little bit postmodern and all that, you know? So I don't know. Mike Porter says, I want good content. I loved both. I'm so mad at Warner Brothers for not giving us this cut to begin with. If we had the Snyderverse going into... I know, man. Dude, Mike, that's such a good point. If we had this movie, then we could potentially be getting the second film around this time. Now, I mean, look, the truth is, it's good that that bullshit happened because I don't even think the Snyder Cut wouldn't be as hyped as it is right now without the whole story, without For Autumn, right? It's a tragic element to the whole thing. We would give all of it up to get her back, but that's not an option. You know what I mean? And so to honor her and to have this movie honor her, it's the next best thing. And there's some really positive shit happening with the whole thing, So yeah, it's a shame we're not going into Justice League 2, but it's also dope that we're where we're at. You know what I mean? Mike says Warner Brothers squandered an opportunity. They should be held account. We'll see what happens. Logan Mo says, last week I learned I don't go on a date with a new woman when so many nerdy things drop. Has you fighting to not talk about nerd things the whole time. Yeah, Logan, look, you just got to be real. But always, okay. So my thing in the dating world, right? I don't put on the apps and stuff. I don't put that I'm a YouTuber. So because I find that weird. I actually usually just say, depending on how it goes in the first conversations and shit, I'll be like, I work in entertainment, or I'm a streamer, or something like that. I'll say something like that because the last thing I want is to fully expose that not only am I the biggest nerd you've probably ever met, my business is called The Den of Nerds. I'll forever be attached to nerdy things. It's not oh, he's got some nerdy tendencies. It's no. This dude is he takes the nerd shit and nerd venging to another level, right? So that's a lot. You don't want to lay all that on someone right away. You know what I mean? So I definitely understand where you're coming from, Logan. Peroxy says, release the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. Ayer needs... Dude, I would love it. Apparently, they have a version, but here's the difference. From what I understand, and I don't know for sure. By the way, Proxy, after the stream, check your Discord. I'll explain everything with the gift card. But here's what I'll say about this. The difference between the Ayer cut and the Justice League is that Zack did shoot his vision, and David actually got his vision screwed up in the script phase. So in the scripting phase, Warner Brothers was messing with David's stuff because this was post Justice League. So there is no Ayer cut that's the one that would match up with the Snyder cut. He'd have to reshoot stuff, which I think would be dope, but I don't know. Warner Brothers I don't know. Prince Zodiac says Warner Brothers doesn't respect the fans. Feige and Marvel are fans. I 100% agree with you, Prince. We're talking about a 10-year stint of Marvel dominating DC week after week. And we're talking about 1 week. 1 week. You know what I mean? Player 2 says release the Angry Josh cut. Indeed. Trev says, how about we go over community streams from over a year ago where I was saying we are here now. I don't want to wait a decade to get here now. Maybe we can talk about that, Dre. Sinister Gain says, what's the conversation rate? What's the conversion rate from Nerdcoin to Bitcoin? There is no conversion rate to Nerdcoin to Bitcoin, at least not yet. David Bruce says, hey, Nerd Ventures, I'm asking for thoughts and prayers. My mom had a stroke yesterday, but is expected to recover 100%. Holy cow, David Bruce. That is a tough one, man. Sending love, sending prayers, sending positivity. Damn, that is scary. But if she's supposed to recover 100%, then she probably, I guess, got lucky with that. I mean, I don't know a lot about that kind of stuff, but... Wow, that's tough, dude. Mason Graves says, hey, Nerdvenger, including my diamond bet. Wait, what? Mason Graves? Your Nerdvenger stuff is gone? Okay. Hit me up, man. I don't know what's going on with that. That's weird. This week was like having two kids. Marvel, the kids who are always bringing home good grades, and DC, the one that has finally gotten an A. Yes, Zodi, that's a perfect way to say it. So he's saying like two kids. The one's always bringing home good grades and brought home pretty good grades, and then the one that never brings good grades home that brought home an A. That's a great way to say it, dude. Nice. Seth says, haven't had as much fun with Justice League property as I had with Snyder Cut since watching JL and JL Unlimited cartoons back in the day. Dude, for sure. Super fun. Super fun. Josh I says, Justice League was dope. Falcon and Winter Soldier was dope too. Looking forward to more. Keep up the great work, brother. We appreciate you. P.S. Take my money. Thank you, brother. And then I'm going to knock out a couple more of these here, guys. And then we're going to go into the theater and watch some stuff, okay? So Mike Haas says, Marvel isn't worried. They are smiling at DC. Keep little guy makes one good movie every 5 years. Snyder Cut was a great revision. Falcon the Winter Soldier wins the first hour. Sorry. So that's a fair point. So if you put up the first hour to hour, you could make an argument that Falcon the Winter Soldier is better. 100%. I don't personally believe that, but you could make that argument. I still think Snyder Cut. Remember when we paused? If you were at the watch party, we paused at about an hour and 8 minutes in. And we were like, damn, like this shit's wild. You know what I mean? So I don't know, bro. That first hour is pretty tight for the Snyder Cut. With all the, like when Steppenwolf invades. Whew. Tony Reyes says, I've already seen the Snyder Cut 6 times. As much as I love some Marvel properties, I had no interest in Bucky and Falcon team-up show. Therefore, I have not seen it. You know, I think that's a fair point. People got to understand, too. You're talking about the Justice League, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, you know, all those awesome characters. And Bucky, Barnes, and Falcon. I'm not saying these aren't great characters, but Falcon has pretty much for the most of his comic history been a B-level character. Bucky, too. You know what I mean? They're definitely big deals in the MCU, but for normies or fans that aren't as into the MCU, there's not as much draw. Definitely not as much draw as if Captain America was in the show, which maybe is why they put a new one in. And it's definitely not as much of a draw as Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Cyborg. Like, come on. You know? No way. Mason Graves looks like he got it figured out. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently YouTube's weird with that stuff, bro. I don't really know, man. Smash like, smash it, P.S. Give me nerd coin, says Josh I. It shall be yours, my friend. Tom Cub says we need Marvel and DC crossover to heal the fandom. I'm actually on the opposite end of that. I think a little competition would be okay. I think Marvel needs to be put on notice. I like Marvel. I'm very, very happy as a Marvel fan, but they're getting too comfortable, frankly. Barbaric Riemann says he smiled way too hard at that hot dog. Way too hard. Kevin says, I really want the Snyderverse to continue, although sadly I don't think Warner Brothers will allow it due to their hate for Zack and the fans. If they do continue, I want to see an epic Green Lantern Corps movie. Oh my God, Ryan. You're speaking my language, dude. Zack Snyder Green Lantern stuff. Apparently, they wouldn't let him do the Green Lantern stuff. He wanted way more Green Lantern stuff, dude. And by the way, I don't know how the fuck those people survive in a post-apocalyptic, literally post-apocalyptic world. Pause. Anti-life. Unity. But how could they survive without a lantern? They need a lantern. If you're going to be going up against soups, you need a lantern. Like, period. I don't understand why there's no lantern. Ryan Carter says only bought HBO Max because you hyped Snyder Cut up so much and wanted to support the movement. Was very surprised to actually enjoy the movie. Wow, Ryan, well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, man. Really and truly, I am. Whiskey Steve says, going to be doing some traveling soon. I made it out your way. Would you be willing to grab a drink? I'm going to be in Texas in May, hoping to grab a beer with Al as well. Absolutely, Steve. But I don't, in May, you said? Just keep me updated, man. The next couple of weeks are going to be so crazy for me. But, dude, if you're out this way, for sure, man. I meet up at a bar, have a drink. No problem with that. RG2088 says, I hated Justice League TV. But Zack Snyder Justice League. Okay, so you hated the first one, you liked the other one. Somehow did it for me. I think the character build up and the setup for Darkseid just resonated and left me wanting more. Yeah. You know who really needs to get a lot more credit from this whole thing is Chris Terrio. Like Chris Terrio, man. I think he got worked by Whedon, and I think he got worked by JJ for the Star Wars movie. Because this was a really good script, dude. Like, this is a really good script. It gets elevated by Zack's directing, but it's a good script. Defiant Spartan says, if Marvel had released a movie, it'd be different. DC had a 4-hour solid film and Marvel had an hour-long episode with less in it. Love both, though. Listening at work. Love the content. Keep it up. Thank you, man. Appreciate the love. Jareth Loveberry says, love both properties this weekend. We are the true winners. Falcon and Winter Soldier is lucky that the Snyder Cut didn't... Oh, dude. Jareth, you ain't wrong. He said, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is lucky that Snyder Cut didn't do the episodes. Oh, man. And that's what I would be thinking about if I were Warner Brothers. Because if it is the streaming wars, if it is the hype wars, if the hype is the metric, which, by the way, it is, DC has the ability to start putting some stuff up against these Marvel shows. And somebody made the point, I think it was Grace. I think Grace Randolph made this point in one of her recent videos. She said, if Marvel is going to water down the shows to keep the integrity of the big reveals and dope crazy shit happening in the movies, which might be true. I don't know if I agree with this, but if that is the case, then they've set themselves up for some really tough matchups if Snyder's stuff is fully embraced on HBO Max. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? Like, that could be a bad look for them. Sheev the Wise says, what if it's a Snyder Darth Bane movie? Oh, man. Like, dude. Yes. Like, I want it, dude. But I don't know, man. Disney, Star Wars, I don't know about that, bro. Normies to Nerd says, Snyder Cut Justice League dev benefited from the story of its release. 100%. It was good, but not great when I felt connected to Cyborg because of my love for Doom Patrol Cyborg. Right on, brother. Right on, Kendall. I appreciate that. I think there was just no way. But, okay, but here's the thing again. It's like I hear myself saying there was no way it was going to beat it, but I legitimately think that I was not convinced of that beforehand. Like, you have to remember, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is personally my most anticipated project for all of Phase 4. Now, that's changed with some of the things that we've now found out about Doctor Strange and stuff. But I am really excited for where I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going, mainly a la Thunderbolts and Dark Avengers. So, I don't know it to be fact that it was obvious before last week that the Snyder Cut and the story behind it and the buzz was going to create what happened. I don't think that's obvious. And that's what I'm trying to say today in today's stream mostly. It's like, yes, now we're like, well, obviously. But I don't think it was obvious beforehand. It could have flopped. You know what I mean? We could be having a completely different conversation today, and we're not. That's what I'm really trying to get across. You know what I mean? Lord Vito says, remember to smash like for more nerd coin. Indeed. Actually, I should remind people about that. True. Let's see here. RF Gaming Channel says, Zack Snyder Justice League was an improvement, but still didn't give me the comic book reading feels like Marvel does. Character underdevelopment, homogenized, and bland, especially for a 4-hour flick. Hey, man. Different strokes, different folks, man. I think the numbers more or less speak for themselves, but not everybody's going to love it. You know what I mean? For sure. Green Bear says, take my money. Can you unblock my account? Twitter page, Instablog. Okay, yeah, I will take a look at that. I don't fully control the Twitter. There's like some body type stuff we have on there, so I'll look into it. Sorry about that, Green Bear. Tom Cub says, a more comparison would be Titans versus no, totally disagree. Keith E says the nightmare premonitions from Cyborg and Batman were terrifying. Love that dark DC style Snyderverse, please. Couldn't agree more. Okay, guys, I'm gonna stop on these super chats. The real Django will be up next. Okay, so we're gonna we'll do more super chats at the end of the show, and I'll start with the real Django. All right, but for now, let us go into the theater. And I want to find... Leslie Jones shit, dude. Let's go. This shit's so funny. Here we go. Come on in. Wait.
Now you wake up from a dream like that. The next call is to Superman. Hey man, can you come over real quick? I just had a real fucked up dream. Like seriously, we need to talk that shit out. Like we need to talk this shit out. Something gonna happen, cuz I don't know what it is, but something gonna happen, homie. Like for real. Like we need to talk, man. Can we fucking talk, man? Fuck. Okay. Now
Like, okay. Oh shit! Here we go.
Oh, this is what happened. Oh, because you remember the premonition he saw with Superman flying and shit? But I don't like Jared Leto as a Joker. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers gonna be mad. I don't give a shit. I don't think he's good as a Joker. I'm sorry. Was Joaquin? Why they ain't got him? Oh, but I forgot this movie was made before that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, whatever. So this is maybe the lead into what's going to happen next, because this movie.
That's. This one's really good.
Man, you can't do shit. Shish kebab, shish kebab. And then we have a super sock to the chin. And then Wonder Woman comes in with a hi, you get slice him up. Send the head over to the other side. They had to stand there and watch their boy get dead like that. And y'all can't even come do nothing because the 3 boxes got separated.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just gonna send that over there super cut for you. That's your boy. Oh, don't squash him now. Try to come over. Come through. Come through, though. Why don't you come through, though? Come through, though. Thanos' cousin. Come on, Thanos' cousin. We waiting for you, motherfucker. Come through, cuz.
Yo.
Come through. That's what Superman's saying. Come through, though.
Come through.
But you ain't, though.
You ain't.
You ain't, though. Man, you can't do
So,
shit.
like, in all seriousness, like, this shit's so funny to me.
Shishko.
Like, but it indicates, I mean, like, this was a threat. This thread was trending. Like, people are talking about, she's literally trending right now. So, like, my point is that, like, this thing created such a phenomenon that Leslie Jones, who's a smart person, she's really smart. She understands. She understands the internet. She understands branding. She understands all this shit. She does this live tweeting of this 4-hour thing, sort of giving her commentary on it. And it's good. It's funny commentary. And there's also a respect for the narrative. She actually seems like she was following along as well. So these little things like this, guys, they add up to this colossal wave of sort of like hype and buzz. And I just want to watch a couple more because it's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, let's see. Let's try to go back and see like some of her earlier stuff. You know what I mean? I think this Superman shit's gonna be funny. Let's see here.
Are you trying to sweet talk Superman?
Remember who you are.
Yeah, oh, he gonna remember who he is real quick. And that lasso is not helping. Ouch. Oh my goodness gracious of life. That's Superman. That's Superman. And trust me, if he was alive, them people would not have came to that earth like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And yo, you must understand that that's Superman, right? That's Superman. That's Superman. That's Superman. Yeah, that's Superman. Yeah, he sees you.
He sees
that's
you.
Superman with his fine ass. Lord have mercy. What kind of training he got to do to have that back?
Yeah.
Father God. Lord have mercy, you did good on him.
Lord have mercy, you did good
Did you
on
just
him.
try to sweet talk him?
Yo, I love it, dude. I love it. I find it to be hilarious, ladies and gentlemen. I really do. I find it to be pretty funny. and just kind of a cool little thing. I wanted to go over here and talk a little bit about some of what is being said about John Walker, the new Captain America. We talked a little, by the way, yeah, so there's a video coming out about this. Later today, we're going to get into sort of like details about this, but I wanted to let's just read a couple of these questions here and talk about what Wyatt Russell is saying about this role. Wyatt Russell is the son of Kurt Russell. So the new Pixar-looking Cap that we got is Kurt Russell's son. Spoiler alert. This story addresses the ending of the major reveal from the first episode of Disney Plus Marvel series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Over the course of 8 years and 7 films, Chris Evans wielded the shield of Marvel Cinematic Universe's resident all-American superhero, the moral center, Captain America. The new Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, there's another guy not named Steve Rogers who's been picked to be Captain America. The actor who plays him is steeled for any backlash. People are probably going to hate it, and some people are going to love it, says Wyatt Russell, whose new character, John Walker, now wears the Star-Spangled Suit and wields the iconic shield. Although the A on the outfit has undergone a snazzy makeover, movies and TV shows are there to make people feel emotions. And I'm hoping that's what this show can do for people. Hopefully, they don't hate me too much, he adds, but it will be an honor, I guess, to be disliked in the Marvel Universe. That's pretty cool, man. I like that. Just like his dad, right? Okay, so this is really the most interesting quote, and I really do talk a lot about this in the video, but check this out. So, he talks about turmoil and Walker's history as a Marine, and he says here, I don't think there's really been many MCU characters who have quite the dilemma he's had in terms of trying to fit into this sort of moralistic superhero world, Russell said of Walker. He goes on to say he's been thrust into this role as Captain America, and he's going to do it his way, and he wants to do it right. But his way is a very specific way that he has learned through being basically a trained human hunter. I mean, that's what Marines are. They're not Steve Rogers. They're not the same. They're not like Boy Scouts anymore. They're a little bit more gnarly. So pretty interesting that he would discuss that very difference. And one of the things I talked about in the solo video about this is that the person that created the character of I should have waited. See, hang on. Let's try. Let me try this again. I think I fixed the box problem. So I think the trick is to do this, let it do that, and then do it. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, the point is, the guy that made the character, that created the character of John Walker, he literally created him to be the exact opposite of Steve Rogers. He's the exact opposite of Steve Rogers in a lot of different ways. And there's different types of soldiers in the armed forces, okay? There are people like Cap, and then there are people that are savages. You know what I mean? And the military makes use of all kinds of different people and warriors when it comes to war. This show, I'm hoping, will address and talk about some of these issues and sort of get into this in a nuanced way because I find it fascinating. But John Walker in the comics is something like between Cap and the Punisher. You know what I mean? And I think it's going to be really, really cool to see what they do with the John Walker character moving forward. How are they going to show that hunter, militant, savage side? You know what I mean? I think this is going to be pretty fun to watch, but we will judge the character pretty harshly for it. You know what I mean? That's what I think. Has the big Marvel announcement happened yet today? Is there a big Marvel announcement that I'm missing yet? Let me check the Twitter. No, I don't see any. We'll wait on that. Should be some crazy news maybe happening later in the day. Could be cool. Ooh, here's an action shot from 20 hours ago.
Superheroes cannot be allowed to exist.
Zemo.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier has arrived on Disney+.
I got a vibranium arm,
It's action-packed,
and I can fly.
pulse-pounding,
Let's get to work.
and it only gets better and better.
Interesting.
Clear the way! You're supposed to follow me! It's in every action movie!
Good talk.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier now.
This, I'm going to be real. This trailer reads a little bit like, please give it a chance.
Superheroes cannot be allowed to exist.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier has arrived on Disney+.
I got a vibranium arm,
It's action-packed,
and I can fly.
pulse-pounding,
Let's get to work.
and it only gets better and better.
You went the wrong way! Clear the way! You're supposed to follow me! It's in every action movie!
You know, we really don't know the full extent of the numbers. I am curious. How did it do? Andrew Stunt Double just deleted his post on Instagram. Oh, Andrew Garfield? Let's not talk about that. Oh no. Oh no. Andrew Garfield stuff. Sorry, everybody. We're not supposed to be talking about that. I want to friggin' watch the video with Oscar Isaac, man. Where he's doing the Moon Knight stuff. Where's that at? Here's a little action scene with U.S. Agent. Should we watch it? What the hell? Uh-oh, look at that. Bashing the shield like that. That's a little aggressive. Can you see it, guys? Sounds really not okay. The screaming's pretty wild. Hey, there we go. So can you see this up here? Boom, 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 boom. Savage. Interesting. Anthony Mack, he's talking about... Wait, what the hell? Do I have that playing somewhere else? Why was that just playing? That doesn't make any sense. What just happened? Too much of John Walker freaking screaming. Where's the friggin... Let me see. Maybe I can just find it on our Twitter. Here it is. Haha.
السما جنينة روحي وفي الضوء ذهب زي الناري هدي صحابي وناسي يرجعوا مرة يقولوا انتي تعالي يا مين وانت حبيبي ويرجعوا حلمنا بس وردن زي الورد تحت السما
They have Egyptian music because I'm assuming because Moon Knight is Egyptian. Well, his powers come from Egypt. Pretty sick. That's pretty cool. Flipping around like that, it's gonna be sick. Yeah, man. It's cool, man. It looks like he's like training quite a bit, which is nice because I mean, look, Moon Knight is gonna be cool. Like regardless, like we're gonna check it out, we're gonna love it. But like, it's very nice to see that he's taking the action really seriously. You know, a situation like what happened with Finn Jones, you know, with Iron Fist, super disappointing. Didn't match up with how I felt about that character in the comics. So it looks like there's Andrew Garfield news really blowing up right now. I guess we could talk about that a little bit. It does appear that they got caught a little bit with the Andrew Garfield business. But again, we don't even know if this is for Spider-Man 3. What's really weird is they could be filming multiple Spider-Man movies right now. I've talked about this before, but we don't know. Is this gone? I mean, this photo, that's Andrew Garfield stunt double for sure. What do you guys think? Is the mouse coming for us? Do you guys think the mouse is coming for us? It's going to be cool. Morbius, October. That'd be nice. Andrew Garfield has that Pixar cap look. Yeah. Fun stuff. Fun stuff, huh? All right, let's finish out with a little bit more Q&A, guys, okay? We're going to finish out with a little bit more Q&A. Just kind of see what you guys are talking about, what's on your brain parts. And then we'll get out of here. Okay, so The Real Django says, no interest in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Wow! That wasn't even worth mentioning. By the way, too much slow motion. No interest in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Wow, was that? That wasn't. What? I don't understand. 34 Virgo says, did you hear about Christopher Nolan in talks with the MCU? I did not hear about that. That would be cool, but also doesn't he shit all over those movies? Felicity says, Snyder hypnosis got y'all. Mofo would not make it finish in Star Wars. He might get fired by KK. Yeah, that's true. You think RJ messed up in arms of, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Don't fall for a boner in the tailpipe. Ah! Felicity, how dare you? Stevie says, DC is having a move at Marvel. Fans just need to accept it and realize this benefits all. What a time to be a nerd Venger. Become a member today. No, I love it. The DC fans are like, hee. The DC fans are having the best day ever. All of our Marvel fans are like, I don't fucking know about this shit. You know what I mean? Hey, it's all for fun. Can't always be sunshine and rainbows. You know what I mean? Relax. Lars says, how did Snyder do Batman v Superman, which was horrible, and then do epic like Justice League? Love your work on both channels. Thanks for the content. Okay, let me explain. I think Zack shoots very atmospherically. I think he shoots very long. I think he shoots very character-driven, and I think it takes a long, long time. In my opinion, you see a lot of the same things happen between the Snyder Cut and the original Justice League that you see between BVS and the extended cut of BVS. In the extended cut, Zack does a much better job of making everything make sense. And one must wonder, was there stuff cut out of even the extended cut that could have improved the film? Now looking at 4-hour Justice League, I'm going to go ahead and say yes. So that's kind of where I'm at with that, Lar. But I do agree that everybody should own how bad the theatrical cut of BVS was. I think Zack, he's classically a very good soldier, but he should have made a bigger stink of that, George says, Joe King is live on Indiegogo, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, man. Right. Enrique says, Snyder Cut gave me a boner that rivals Darcy. Woo! Holy cow. That's pretty wild, man. RG2088 says, you think Torres will become half-human Falcon mutated person in Falcon and Winter Soldier, or will they go tech on him instead? Really not sure, man. They could do a combo of both. Could be a scroll as well. Well, no, because he would have bled green probably, right? I don't know. Lord Vito says, bro, Zack Snyder's Power Rangers movie, I would die. They would never do that, though. The Saban Power Rangers is too family friendly. You know what I mean? But that would be sick. Matthew Kurtz says, if Spider-Man 3 turns out the way we hope it'll be with all the multiverse craziness, could this end up being the coolest superhero movie ever? It really could. It really ultimately could. I have high hopes. And they have the ability to do some amazing shit. If they execute, we're in for a treat. Really and truly, we're in for a treat. Crest says, Snyder said in an interview that they shot a version of the ending with Jon Stewart Green Lantern coming to meet Bruce, but the studio fought him on it and he switched to Martian Manhunter. Yeah, I heard about that, Crest. Crazy, right? Like, just ridiculous. We see Kilowog in that thing. You're telling me we could have had Kilowog, Jon Stewart, potentially Hal? I mean, like, it really does start to boggle the mind a little bit. It does start to piss you off a little bit if you're anything like me. I get a little bit pissed about it. Colin McGoldrick says, thoughts on how they handled Aquaman in the Snyder Cut? I personally love how they made him darker than how he was portrayed in James Wan's Aquaman. I'm right there with you, bro. Seemed like a real warrior-ass dude to me. A lot more care given to the character for sure, man. I agree. Crazy. Crazy. Yeah. Let's see what's going on in the chat. What's everybody talking about? Where are all my Marvel fans at? Is everybody okay? Is everybody okay? Is everybody mad? Is everybody mad? People are like, no, I'm not okay. I'm not okay, Josh. You've betrayed Marvel. I'm always angry. Mortal Kombat? What about it? What about it? Great day to be a nerd-venger, says Obi-Wan the homie, a.k.a. Beskar Batman. Yeah, that's cool. What comes out this week? It's not Mortal Kombat this week, is it? Is it Mortal Kombat this week? Craig says not mad, just disappointed. Invincible. I heard Invincible is going to be sick. Wait, Godzilla vs. Kong is this week? No way. Godzilla vs. Kong is this week? I thought Zilla's next week. Mira said her parents in Snyder Cut, but in Aquaman, her dad is very much alive. Oh, I know. Zilla is the 31st? Yeah, I got a little time. What team are you guys on? Godzilla or Kong? Put it into the chat. Team Godzilla or Team Kong? Who you got? Who you got? Dang, that's pretty split. That is pretty split. A lot of Kong love, though. Damn. My favorite anime is Samurai Champloo. A lot of Kong love, dude. Holy shit. That's crazy. It's gonna be fun. That'll be a fun time. I think we could do a watch party, ladies and gentlemen. Before I agree to this, is this fucking movie 4 hours? Because that really did destroy me last week. Like, How long is this movie? Cowboy Bebop's pretty good. I like Cowboy Bebop. How long is this movie? How long is Kong vs. Godzilla? Somebody tell me now. Two hours? All right. 5 hours? Dude, 4 hours was rough, bro. But you know what's funny? Okay, so I've been talking to a lot of my nerdy friends about, like, all of this shit, right? Like, Falcon, Winter Soldier, Snyder Cut, all of it. The thing that everybody keeps saying is, like, yeah, I got to rewatch the back half of Snyder Cut because I was pretty sleepy. And then you kind of, like, lean into that being bad, right? Where you're like, okay, well, that's probably bad. But then you think about it and you're like, but it did keep you awake for 4 hours. And everybody seems to agree that, like, yeah, they got drawn in. That's pretty impressive, dude, you know? So Carl says, let's give DC fanboys their day, but I do find their dissing of the MCU funny. MCU has so much coming down the line. What does DC fans have? Hey, that's fair. I think if you're a Marvel fan, for sure, you have a lot of stuff figured out, and Warner Brothers might not even continue this. This might be the end. So let's keep it all in perspective here. But yes, I do believe Warner Brothers got to win. And we'll see what happens. We shall see. Leonard asks, is Warner Brothers rethinking the Snyder Cut now? I think they might be. In fact, there's an article by Variety. See if I can find this Variety article. This article came out 19 hours ago, and it is the talk of the town. Will Zack Snyder be invited to make a Justice League sequel? The answer is a test of whether Hollywood still works. For 45 years, Hollywood has churned out sequels to more or less any movie that makes a big enough splash at the box office. The rationale has always been simple. The fans want it. Starting in the 1970s with Jaws, Rocky, Star Wars, fan service became the model, the engine, the economic blueprint of the movie business. Yet, it was a double-edged sword. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read this full article. The age of the multiverse sequels has, in its way, camouflaged this reality. When a Marvel or a Star Wars movie is conceived as just one piece of a Tinker toy in a larger structure, it can seem, at the very least, to have a reason to exist. Good or bad, it's another link in the storytelling chain. Yet that same dynamic can also rob a film of purpose. How much investment can we have in a piece of Tinker toy? The end of it isn't even an ending. It's just a stop. In the age of comic book cinema, we now occupy, or maybe I should say, that now occupies us, only one thing can make fantasy blockbuster come fully and thrillingly alive. Zack Snyder's Justice League has that thing. What is it? You would call it vision. You wouldn't be wrong. But it's also something I would call voice. That's not a quality we associate with comic book movies. But the rare, great ones have it. And in Justice League, Zack Snyder's voice comes through in ways at once large and small. It's there in the doomy, Wandagorian, puckerish way the movie hones on a seed coming off a hot dog bun in a bullet time sequence that introduces Flash's superpowers. It's there in the way the backstories don't just set up the characters, but intertwine their fates. And in the way that Snyder, leaving Joss Whedon's genital jokes on the cutting room floor, replaces it with a sincerity so present it doesn't have to speak its name. It's there in the majestic symphony rigor of the battle scene, and in how the villains are glittering with malice. Steppenwolf, dripping with molten corruption, Darkseid comprise a threat at once relentless and remorseful. Holy shit, this is a good article. So, basically, talking about how the Snyder Cut's dope. But let's skip a little bit ahead here. It says, up until now, Warner Brothers has stated that it will continue to make films in the DC Extended Universe without Zack Snyder. Yet Warner's now finds itself in a strange position. In 2017, the studio turned its back on Snyder and trashed his vision. Yet it also, in a way, then gave him a second chance. That is true. Zack Snyder's Justice League is the movie that shows us at last what the DCEU could be. I give props to the executives who, feeling the grassroots pressure of the Snyder Cut movement, agreed to greenlight the project. If there was a trace of cynicism in that decision, I don't see it. They make it possible for Snyder to make the film he wanted to make and to make a movie that would be something greater than fan service, a movie that would inspire true fan love. I'm going to slightly disagree there, and I think that, let's just be real. This is a Hollywood trade, probably jerking Warner Brothers off a little bit there because they certainly deserve the reputation for being two-faced about this, in my opinion. Now that's happened, to leave it to Snyder, or rather, now that's happened, to leave Snyder by the wayside seems not merely unjust, it strikes me as foolhardy. Warner Brothers executives will, of course, look at the numbers, at how well the film performs on HBO Max. I suspect the news there will be good. But this can't be a decision based simply on numbers. The mobilization of fans behind #release the Snyder Cut was kind of awesome. They were comic book movie geeks who moved a mountain. And now that we've seen the results, their passion to do it again may be even greater. I agree with that. Whatever plan Warner Brothers now has in place, the reality is that plans can change. Minds can change. After Zack Snyder's Justice League, on what planet would an executive have to be on to not want Snyder to make a Justice League sequel? Only on a planet where even the potential artistry of mainstream movie making must always take a back seat to corporate control. Very bold. I want to give a lot of credit to Owen Gilberman. Gilberman? I apologize. I'm the worst. Owen. Good fucking article. Well done. Recommend you guys check that out. But essentially, that's really the discussion. That's what everybody's talking about, is now that this has happened, what do we do now? What should they do? Who knows? But we'll be keeping an eye on it. Let's see here. I'm just going to tear through these last couple of super chats, and then we're getting out of here, guys. Prince Zodiac says the Snyder Cut of Justice League vs. Kong is 3 days long. Right on. Player 2 says Fat Man Beyond. Mark says Zach will continue with cartoon. I'm here for it, brother. I'm here for it. However, wherever, I would be into that. I would cry a little bit because, would love to see him get the chance to do it in live action. But the benefit of animation is you don't have to get all of those actors back. You can get voice actors. You can get them to reprise their role for ADR. You have a lot of options there. So that's kind of cool. Knight12223 says, Zack Snyder is the greatest, and just when you don't think you could simp for him anymore, he dunks on the douche of all douches. Good job, Zach. Yeah, you're referring to the Geeks and Gamers thing. Look, I haven't talked about the Geeks and Gamers thing a lot publicly. I'm not going to talk about the Geeks and Gamers thing a lot publicly. I thought it was a tragic but also kind of hilarious situation. I feel bad for certain people over there. That was wild. I don't know. We'll see how the internet responds to it, I guess. I'm not really going to be talking much about it. I think I understand where Zach was at with that. I think a lot of the people at Geeks and Gamers that I've had personal conversations with understand that I feel similar ways. So, let's leave it at that. Eli Thomas says, how long do you think we have MCU? The rest of our lives? When enough casts die in real life, will Marvel reboot and become a shell of itself? I don't know what the future is, but I think I could see the Marvel Cinematic Universe going incredibly strong for the next 20 years. They have enough stories to really fill out the next 20 years. They're going to need to reboot eventually regardless, and then we'll see where they go from there. Toronto Ferretti says, I'm not biased. I loved it all. I love as the movies and shows are great. I'm game. I love WandaVision and Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's dope, man. Glad that you do. That's real cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna call it for today. Gonna call it. Sweet videos coming at you later. We'll be live streaming, of course, all week long. Tons of great shows, tons of great content. I will be chilling with Theory later tonight for Nerd Theory. Not sure if there's any Star Wars news that we're going to talk about, but we'll talk about whatever. And yeah, thank you guys so much for the love, for the support. And as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. think everybody's gone, right? A little stinger for you. These are always weird shows, you know. I know how the Marvel fans are. I know how they're gonna react. But you know, we gotta have a little fun with the content too, you know. So remember, when you're getting triggered about your nerdy stuff, just try to remember it's for fun. See you tomorrow.